Acids and bases. So acids were explained by Arrhenius theory, then Bronsted theory, and then Lewis acid base theory. So Bronsted acid base theory explained about conjugate acid base pair concept. So what was that? So that was something to do with here. If you see, H2O is giving out one H plus, and what H plus does is H plus was given by water, and it H2O gives out H plus, and this H plus is taken up by ammonia. It converts into ammonium. So what you can see over here is H2O is acting like a acid, and OH minus is acting can act to be as like a base, right? So similarly in HCN it gives H plus, so it acts like a acid, and Cn minus can gain H plus, so it acts like a base. So something which can give H plus behaves as a Bronsted acid or conjugate acid, and the negative part formed after losing H plus is known as conjugate base. For example, if you have water, then it will be called as conjugate acid, and after losing H plus, water forms OH minus. So H2O is conjugate acid and OH minus is conjugate base. Similarly, HCN is conjugate acid and Cn minus is conjugate base of HCN. Alright. So this is conjugate acid base theory. Then came another new theory called Lewis acid base theory. What does it talk about? It says lone pair acceptor is Lewis acid, lone pair donor is Lewis base. So lone pair acceptor, if atom is lone pair acceptor, it should be deficient in electrons. For example, any positive ion which is deficient in electron, for example CS3 plus, NO2 plus, all these species will gain electrons, so they can behave as Lewis acids. Similarly, if a species has empty orbital, for example BF3, ALF3, AlCl3, BCl3, all these have a one vacant orbital. So BF3, AlCl3, BCl3, all these are Lewis acids. Then there is another category where we have multiple bonds such as CO2, SO3. So if a pi bond is present between different atoms, then that molecule can also behave as a Lewis acid. So we have in all three categories which I spoke to you. One is positive ions, Lewis acid, neutral molecules having vacant orbital, and third one is pi bond between different atoms. Example CO2, SO3, these are Lewis acids. Then comes Lewis bases. So what are Lewis bases? Lewis bases are lone pair donor species. So you have few categories over there. Example, if any negative ion is there, definitely it will give a lone pair. So negative ions are Lewis bases, and neutral molecules which have lone pair, example water, alcohol, ammonia, amines, they have lone pair in them. So all these are Lewis bases. Alright. So we discussed Lewis acids and Lewis bases over here. Thank you.